The escalated tensions in the Middle East were discussed in Akorda today between the head of state and leaders of the Executive Office of the President, military representatives as well as ministers. Minister of Foreign Affairs Mukhtar Tluberdi and other ministers presented a report on the current situation in the Persian Gulf region. The President of Kazakhstan expressed concern over the abrupt escalation on the situation in the Middle East. He said that the situation would be improved through maximal restraint of all of the involved parties as well as through diplomatic methods, primarily through the United Nations, and bilateral contacts and negotiations. At the end of the meeting, the head of state instructed to ensure the security of Kazakh foreign agencies and their personnel in the Middle East. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev also had called for the security of foreign diplomatic missions and offices of international companies in the territory of Kazakhstan. According to the Akorda website, special attention will be paid at strengthening the defense capabilities of Kazakhstan. Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced the details of 176 passengers on board the country's plane that crashed in Iran earlier today. Based on the latest information, the victims were 82 Iranians, 63 Canadians, 10 Swedish, 4 Afghans, 3 each from Germany and the United Kingdom respectively, as well as 11 from Ukraine, including the crew members. A Boeing 737 aircraft operated by Ukraine International Airlines crashed near Imam Khomeini Airport in Tehran today. The incident happened when one of the aircraft engines caught fire shortly after takeoff. Flight tracker Flight Radar 24 reported in its Twitter account that the aircraft has been in operations for 3.5 years. The aircraft's black box was found and given to experts for investigation. 80 people killed in Iran's missile attack against US targets in Iraq. 13 ballistic missiles that were launched hit the Ain al-Assad air base in the Anbar province. The US military facility in Erbil, northern Iraq, was also attacked. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed responsibility for the attacks. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen called the United States and Iran for an immediate end to the use of weapons. Members of the European Commission held an emergency meeting. They said that the consequences of the conflict may affect the European Union. Turkey invested nearly $300 million in Kazakhstan last year, thus strengthening its position as one of the top 10 investors in the country. Over the years of independence, Turkey has invested about $4 billion into the country. Foreign entrepreneurs said that Kazakhstan has created all the necessary conditions for business development for investors. Investors from Turkey are financing the projects in defense, energy, infrastructure, as well as chemical and light industries.
Bölgeler, hangi sektörler?
Leading businessmen of all sectors are concentrated in the Ankara industrial zone. Our biggest 4 companies have invested in Kazakhstan. Several of our colleagues are opening businesses. Tax benefits and activities of your government authorities have greatly simplified our work.
Biz Türkiye'de bir elektronik üretim noktasıyız ve teknoloji.
We work in the electronics sector. We have invested in the Far East and in Germany. 8 months ago, we decided to invest in Kazakhstan. Your country has all the conditions for investment. We plan to create an electronic security system in banking, mobile, commercial and other fields.
Kazakistan'a biz yatırım yapma sürecine 8 ay önce
Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank has expressed interest in financing the reconstruction of the Center-West Corridor, connecting Nur Sultan with western regions of Kazakhstan. The funding mechanism for the project as well as other projects was discussed at a meeting between the representatives of the bank and relevant authorities. To date, road projects in Kazakhstan are implemented with the financial support from several international financial institutes, including the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, the Islamic Development Bank, and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Kazakhstan allocated 700 billion tenge on road construction every year. Over 640 kilometers of highways was built last year. National Center for Quality of Road Assets was formed by the government to control the construction quality of the highways. Specialists of the National Center are working on creating a single digital system in order to include the information about newly constructed and reconstructed roads. The system provides data on the companies that conducted the highway projects and the date when it was constructed. We plan to actively implement digital technologies in our work. This will be used to help us fight against corruption. In the next 3 years, by traveling on all the highways, we want to post on the website information of the contractors who worked at a particular site or facility and the defects that appeared.
Medical services are being digitally upgraded in clinics in Kyrgyzstan. The services include online information access, remote diagnostics, and contact between doctors and patients using telehealth technologies. Experts said that accounting and management activities are automated as well, besides medical services using the electronic health record system. The accessibility and timely provision of first aid to the population is also being improved. We bought enough computer equipment this year and concluded that all the stages were completed and ready. We have already implemented this system. Since 2018, we have begun to train our doctors and nurses as well as all those who involved in e-health. All the information about a patient as well as medical history, prescription and medicines that have been prescribed to a patient are kept in an electronic medical record format. All of the information is available to both the patient and his or her doctor. All of the information about the patient over many years is already stored in the electronic medical record. The patient does not have to wait for his or her turn, and it's convenient for the doctor as it saves time for quality consultation. We ensure that our medicine is of very high quality and affordable to our patients by introducing the e-health system. I think that the introduction of the e-health makes better conditions for our work. Firstly, the appointment time for patients is decreased. Secondly, there will be no long queues in hospitals anymore. This will result in improvement of the work quality. The treatment of our patients will be improved as well. Digital transformation in healthcare industry is being implemented for 3 years in Kyrgyzstan. The system operates on the principle of medical institutions, South Korea, Czech Republic and Turkey. Central Asia was selected as the best region for tourism in 2020. Lonely Planet, a well-known American-Australian travel guide publisher, strongly recommends every tourist to travel to Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan and Turkmenistan. The publication draws the attention of travelers to the fact that these countries in the region offer either visa-free travel or e-visas for the majority of the world's citizens. In addition, massive transportation and the infrastructure investment make traveling across the modern Silk Road more accessible than ever. Following Central Asia, Italy's Lee Marquet and Japan's Tohoku have been listed in Lonely Planet's top 10 regions to visit in 2020. Brazilian Amazon closes the list.
Turkestan plans to attract about 5 million tourists annually by 2024. Several projects have been kick-started in the region, which includes the recreation of the Kultobye ancient city and construction of new museums. A 3D model of medieval Turkestan was also developed using new technologies.
Жалпы туризм саласы бойынша 2024 жылға дейін
35 projects worth 300 billion tenge are planned to be implemented in the region by 2024. Tourist complex, hotels, botanical park and artisan center will be built throughout the region. 11 facilities will be opened next year.
Ежелгі Түркістанның тарихын ашсаң, мүлде басқа әлемге қадам басасың.
The major attractions in South Kazakhstan is drawn in 3D graphics by experts. These include Sauran, Sidak, Karatobe, and Oterar. The video completely recreate the life in the cities during the Middle Ages. Usually we use 3D graphics in feature films. This time the work was hard. We read many historical books and studied the first photos of the mausoleum to make the video as realistic as possible. There are 1,663 monuments of history and culture in Turkestan region. There are also 57 tourist routes, including environmental, historical, and cultural, as well as other areas. Creation of qualitative service is a high priority. The region regularly conducts training courses for tour guides and tourism managers.
24-year-old resident of Akhtau, Ildar Yagayev, was named as one of the winners of the 100 New Faces of Kazakhstan project in the sports category. He set the world record in street lifting at an international festival in Russia in 2018. Ildar did pull up with 90 kilograms and push up with 120 kilograms of weight. He became increasingly popular in Akhtau after winning in a challenge in a sports competition for his hometown. Ildar did a very good job. He tried very hard and won many sports competitions. I wish we have more competitions. I have been involved in this sports for 7 years. I think the younger generation will take part in this sports as well. I was surprised when I heard about the project. I'm glad that I took part in it. In the future, I would like to promote this kind of sports and train children and youth.
A unique opera and symphony concert, Letters from Italy, by conductor and honored worker of Kazakhstan Alan Buribayev took place at Astana Opera. The conductor presented his project in Nur Sultan for the first time. The opera and symphony concert tells stories of great composers through letters that they wrote during their stay in the wonderful country, Italy. When I studied the works of great composers such as Verdi, Tchaikovsky, and Mozart, I came up with a new idea. I wondered why these great people did not want to perform their works with their own voice and tone. I think this is a truly unique project and an experiment, given that there were no similar projects previously. I prepared for this concert very carefully. I have read a lot of letters. Of course, the concert program was created based on the epistolary legacy of the composers.
В какой-то степени эксперимент, потому что такого и не было.
The concert program featured the Astana Opera Symphony Orchestra, Astana Opera soloists, and honored workers of Kazakhstan such as Saltanat Akhmetova, Medit Chotabayev, as well as the honored artists of Bashkortostan, Alfiya Karimova, and maestro Alan Buribayev. The first Kazakh cuisine restaurant is opened in Tbilisi. The restaurant has become a meeting place for representatives of Kazakhstan diaspora in the city. The idea of opening the restaurant was introduced by 3 Kazakhs who are inspired by the nostalgia of national gastronomic delights.
Мы казахскую кухню здесь открыли в первую очередь для наших соотечественников, для наших казахов, живущих в Грузии.
We opened a Kazakh cuisine restaurant for Kazakhs living in Georgia. They are our main customers. We also have a lot of local customers who are the representatives of Georgian nation. They come to us with great interest. They really like it here. They like beshbarmak and bausaks. They compared manti with their national dish khinkali.
Даже те же баурсаки, те же манты, опять же таки, да, они сравниваются со своей национальной кухней хинкали.
The main chef at the restaurant is a Georgian woman.
Я работала в разных кухнях: украинской, либанской, грузинской, ну и казахская узнала.
I worked in different restaurants that served Ukrainian, Lebanese, and Georgian cuisines. I applied for this job as soon as I found out about the opening of the Kazakh restaurant. I am interested in something new, given that I like to learn about different cuisines. A Kazakh chef taught me how to cook here. The meals differ from Georgian food, and there are different ingredients such as mutton, horse meat, a lot of meat, and onion. This cuisine is a little different, and I like it. It was very difficult for me to roll the dough at first, but I learned.
Чуть-чуть другая кухня, разнообразная, мне нравится.